In class last night, somebody asked about Jesus going to hell after he died on the cross, and the answer I gave was not complete. So I'm going to use my Genesis notes from last year and try to clear up that whatever controversy there might be. We start here in First Peter chapter 3 and verse 18. We read this: Christ suffered for our sins once for all time. He never sinned, but he died for sinners to bring you safely home to God. He suffered physical death, but he was raised to life in the Spirit. So then, after he was raised to life in the Spirit, we read this in verse 19. So he went and preached to the spirits in prison, those who disobeyed God long ago, when God waited patiently while Noah was building his boat. Only 8 people were saved from drowning in that terrible flood. So some believe that Jesus, when he died, that he went and preached the gospel to people who had died and that were unsaved, and he went to Hades so that he could preach the gospel and have them be saved. But that flies in the face with the verse in Hebrews that says it's appointed unto man once to die, and after that the judgment. So, but I want you to think about that, whether it went to Hades or not, in light of the text in Genesis 6. Coupled with First Peter. So just bear with me here a moment. Who are the spirits in prison, and what time period are they associated with? Well, what time period are they associated with? We're told in the text. First Peter 3:20 says, those who disobeyed God long ago, when God waited patiently while Noah was building his boat. And who are those spirits? They're not lost people that are shut up in Hades. No, they are foul demonic spirits that overstep their bounds by corrupting the human race in the days of Noah. And what that has to do with, in Genesis chapter 6, we have an account of what would seem like angels procreating with women, human women, and raising this master race of half human, half demons. It's not what's going on there. What was going on was you had demons possessing men who had children with other women, with women, of course. And what you had was a bunch of households led by demon-possessed men, and they were corrupting the human race and leading them into all sorts of debauchery. In Jude chapter 1 and verse 5, we read this: so I want to remind you, though you already know these things, that Jesus first rescued the nation of Israel from Egypt, but later he destroyed those who did not remain faithful. And I remind you of the angels who did not stay within the limits of the authority God gave them, but left the place where they belong. Where did they belong? They didn't belong infesting the human race. That's not what God created them for. Then we read on, God has kept them securely chained in prisons of darkness, waiting for the great day of judgment. So you've probably heard me say in the past that some of the 1/3 of the angels who rebel with Lucifer are chained up, and some are running loose and roaming the earth. That's true. Well, now we know why. The ones that attack the human race by marrying into it have been chained up in the pit ever since the flood came and took away the bodies they were using. And others, though still evil and foul, have been left to roam free on the earth, for now at least. Luke 8:31, the demons kept begging Jesus not to send them into the bottomless pit. See, there's more evidence. Some are free, some are locked up. Revelation 9:1, then the 5th angel blew his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen to earth from the sky, and he was given the key to the shaft of the bottomless pit. When he opened it, smoke poured out as though from a huge furnace, and the sunlight and air turned dark from the smoke. So that's ahead of us in our Revelation study. So when Jesus goes and preaches to the spirits in prison, he's not going to preach to lost people. He is going to address the demons from Noah's day that had overstepped their bounds by trying to lead demon-possessed, well, not more than trying, they were leading demon-possessed households. No doubt when the news reached the pit, the bottomless pit where these demons had been locked up, when the news reached that pit that Jesus had died on the cross, there was probably a huge celebration in the pit. And they would be saying something like that: hey, the one who put us here just got his. Instead, they see a living Jesus coming to claim victory over sin and death and the grave.